Romulus.
Yeah. I like it. Are we good?
We're on.
All right. Folks, Jay with Knife Joy. I am here with the, we'll say famous, not infamous, Greg Medford.
Notorious?
Sure. Day 2 of Shot Blade. Wait, what show are we at?
We're Blade Show
We're Blade
2024, Atlanta, Georgia.
Blade Show on Saturday, and clearly one of us needs more caffeine. Greg, thanks for taking the time.
Good morning. What's happening?
First, tell me about the box, because that was what you said is like literally just got here.
So this is we've got this. So Jeff that used to work for us, and for those of you who remember Jeff, he was kind of my giant around the Shack-3 and around the shows.
Yeah.
Jeff
He's
and I,
isn't he?
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, he retired in December, but he moved down to Alabama, so he drove up to hang out with us for the show.
Okay.
But he and I, we kind of went through this phase where we were super gay for Gerstner toolboxes, like vintage from World War II.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's got a collection of them. We just started buying like vintage Gerstner boxes, and then we started reaching out and kind of developed a relationship with Scott, the owner there, and then his wife's a sweetheart, and that's his sister. Multi-generational family, so they've been making boxes. They did like this cool knife box for our company with this co-branded Gerstner Medford pieces and stuff. Like it's super cool. And then we did a batch of those, and they just sold out like crazy. So I wanted to do something like this that was more of like a nightstand or dresser top.
Yeah.
Throw your knives in your wallet, and then you can kind of shut it, and it's like instead of your crap laying all over the place.
And the door pulls out?
Door pulls out, and you can laser cut this to set it up for whatever knives you want.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, just fun stuff.
No, dude, that's a great idea. Because how many of us don't have a coffee table or an end table by the side of our bed that's just a pile? Right? That's a pile of stuff that's not organized. And I really like that.
And even you can even have this like in your I have all my stuff organized in my closet, but you still, it's like you got your watch. Even if you have a box of your watches, and I have a watch thing, and I've got like a little knife case, and I got a sunglasses case. I have my go-tos, or the ones that I wore today.
Yeah.
And then I get home, I get back from the gym, boom, I'm going to like trivia night. And you throw your stuff out, and it's just always laying in a mess. So they made this box for me. They're like $650, and it's kind of a decadent thing. But they put my logo in it, and they make a basic one that's not a Medford one, but they're super cool. I love it.
I like it. You know what wood it is?
This one is walnut.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do walnut, oak. They do a bunch of different ones. I wanted it in walnut for a dark finish, and they do the custom felt for me.
So can you get different felt, or you wanted the red for you?
Yeah. So this one's set up for my brand. They've got a standard. I think it's got a green, like pool table green felt in it.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's American made by an old American company in Ohio, and they're still family owned.
Yeah, they've been around
for forever.
I want to say over 100 years.
Over 100 years, yeah.
I dig long-time family American companies like that. I'm fascinated by them. I try to buy products from them as often as I can.
I'm not pushing it on my kids, but it's the first time I've got my daughter and my son here, seeing if they like being around the knife business.
They've been working that corner like all day yesterday. So
yeah.
Maybe because they were scared of you, or maybe because they wanted to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They knew I'd beat them if they slacked off.
Yeah, fair enough. Tell me about some of the knives now that we talked about the.
So I didn't go crazy with new stuff this year because I have a lot of new stuff on the event horizon. So we have our Pro Series. Are you familiar with our Pro Series at all? So it's 10 of my kind of classic fixed blade designs with a couple new ones mixed in, and this Romulus is one of them. So obviously it's a take on a kind of Roman Gladius, a little modern take on it. 3/16 CPM 3V steel. It's got our Pro Series logo on it, all sculpted G10 handles. I mean,
yeah, I love the sculpting on that. Flare out on the palm there. Is that titanium hardware?
Yeah.
That's cool. So these are available now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this is from this series. And in the series, all the knives are mostly 3/16 stock. Some of them are, a couple of them are thinner, a couple of them are thicker. But they're all this type of construction where it's going to be two slabs on a knife, and then all of the sheaths are these top grain, black on black stitching, black edged, American made sheaths.
I like it.
So this is a pretty sweet package. We've got in the knife series that comes out. It's out this year. There's 10 knives in that series. There's a knife for like kind of everything. Whether it's tactical or hunting or camping or collecting or I don't know. I mean, when I was a young Marine, I would have strapped it on my leg and I would have gone to Afghanistan with that. I would have been like, oh yeah.
I'm getting one of those. Like that, for some reason, I like not big swords, but short swords or big knives.
It's almost like a dirk.
Right. That's in the sweet zone right there. And it's very smooth lines on the machining on the handle scales.
So that's part of our new series, and there's another one of those knives from that series in there. But they all, if you laid them all out, they have this intonation and look. Different colors to handle. Tan, green, and black. Just nice, subtle, no frills, professional type knife, not a collector type knife. And then, of course, our OTF came out this year.
Right.
I know for anybody who kind of follows the business, we were a little slow coming out of the gate with this. And
I think we might have even talked about it last year, or you were maybe the concept of it, I'm not sure. But
yeah, I had some prototypes.
But there's nothing wrong with being slow if you're getting it right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's a new segment for us, and there's a lot. Let me get these out of your way. There's a lot to this on the inside that's really, really subtle. Like, we've made major changes to it, and if you put them both next to each other, you couldn't tell the difference. It's just some reliability and functionality things that are hard to find out. Yeah. And it's like a tiny little chamfer at one little place.
And that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Is that so? Tell me about the clip on that. Can you swap sides on that?
You can swap. It's ambidextrous clip. The clip, oddly enough, the clip held the project up for almost 2 months. So we didn't go with a stainless clip. It's titanium, and to do an over 90-degree bend on titanium, almost impossible to get done. So you got to heat it up with a torch to bend it. Which is fine if you're a homemaker and a hand maker and a little shop maker.
Or 2 offs.
But when you're making 1,000 or 500 of something and you want them all exactly the same, and you want it to work on both sides, the bend's got to be pretty perfect, which means you got to make tooling. And now you got to do torch, tooling, pressing. It's more complicated than people think to make a tie clip.
Just to make the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, like easy to open, easy to close.
And of course, this isn't my fetish, so I don't have a big collection of these. I don't own anybody else's OTF. So we just had to figure out how to do it.
I like it.
Took a year and a half just to,
I like that grind, the fullers on both sides, on both grinds. Is there something behind that? Is it a design thing? Is it a function thing? Is it you just like how it looked?
Well, all right.
I know I didn't plan this question out ahead of time.
How it ended up, it's got great style and panache to it. Like,
panache is the word.
If you look at like this point and the center point here, it's almost like a trident.
Yeah.
Now that was all accidental. Like a lot of knife making is serendipitous. You don't plan it and something happens and you're like, oh fuck, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we originally did these in different shapes, and it was originally an attempt to we needed to lighten the blade. So a lot of people don't know this, but the trick with these knives is really like keeping the blade at a certain weight, and really very light is very advantageous.
Right.
And then you make it too light, and then it's flimsy and too easy to break.
Snapping off on you.
To make it have the right action, it has to have a weight and a spring that are kind of perfectly tuned to each other.
It looks like you nailed that one.
And no hardware on that. I don't know if you noticed.
Yep.
Kind of Japanese puzzle box.
That's cool, man. Tell me about the Valley.
So the Valley, I had an employee working for me. Now I'm going to tell you something about the Valley. All these kids that are in the valleys and everything, I know, like, they don't watch I'm like an old guy. They don't give a shit what I say. This whole crowd.
I wouldn't say you're like an old guy.
I am an old guy.
You're an old guy.
But for those kids, I'm an old guy, and they're like, like 2 minutes into a video with me, they're like, screw this. Where's his purple hat? They don't give a fuck. This crowd is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
But Did you like butterfly knives when you were a kid?
Yeah, I got some of the Balisongs back when they were Pacific Cutlery. I still have my original Pacific Cutlery before they changed names. Back when Jody Sampson was grinding blades in North Hollywood. But I can rant about that forever. But you're right about the old man thing, because I go out and watch these kids and I'm like, but they're phenomenal at it. They're phenomenal at it. And I in fact, we got a guy that we're going to watch today in the competition, and he's amazing. Now he's one of the old guys because he's like in his 30s.
Well, these guys come by here, and they come, and you can tell they're not in their territory.
Oh yeah.
Like they look different. They look up and they're like, it looks like the place, but he's like a middle-aged tactical asshole Marine guy. And then they're like, we heard you have a, and they're all like, we heard you have a Bali. I'm like, yeah, it's right over there. And they pick it up, and they're like, and you see them, they go. And you know, I had a couple of these kids that are sponsored, and they're over flipping around. And they're like, man, this is awesome. So
yeah, they're digging it.
It's a really nice.
What size blade is that?
I don't know. It's like about that long.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So 12 inches.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I like it. I like the machining texture on there.
So we had a young guy working for me who was really into these, and he had one, and I traded him out some making on his to do a design for me. He's done this design, and then we've done one other design, which we haven't made yet.
So it's a one-piece channel handle, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So much fun making that.
I'm sure it's quite the challenge.
Yeah,
getting that machining to balance, taking just enough off both sides.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think I just cut. Oh no, there was something on there. Oh, that's funny. There was something on there. Yeah, they're pretty nice, and we do them with a couple of different blade styles.
Yeah, I like it. I like the color. I like the texture.
Yeah, pretty sexy little knife. And I love it when the Bali guys come by and they just think, and then they pick it up and they flip around. They're like, "What?"
That's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really get a kick out of watching those guys work with those things.
So that's kind of our major new stuff. I mean, obviously we've got more tools out for our ASK line.
Yeah.
You know.
I dig it. I'm really stoked on the box, and I'm really stoked on that. I'm going to call it a short sword, because I think that's what it is.
Now Romulus.
Romulus. All right. Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate you coming by.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.